Good afternoon. We are starting our next unit. We are continuing working with the slope. Okay, we got introduced to that at the end of the last unit. I put Khan Academy in before spring break. What that last set of Khan Academy did, that had to do with this. So today's objective, if you did that Khan Academy, it's going to come pretty easy. Remember, usually the first objective or two are a little bit easier and we build on it and it gets more complicated. That's going to happen with this unit. It will get more complicated. It will be stuff that you will use for the rest of your math career. Okay, so this isn't a really important unit for us. We're starting off with CO52. I can identify the x-intercept and the y-intercept of a line that has been graphed. So the x-intercept is where the line crosses the x-axis. So it's always going to have, a 0 for the y. So there'll be an x and then the y will always be a 0. The y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis, and this time it's always going to be a 0 for the x in your ordered pair. So where it crosses the x-axis, that y is a 0. It doesn't go up or down, it's on the x-axis. Where it's the y-intercept, there's going to be no x. The x will always be a 0. It stays on that y-axis. So both the x-intercept and y-intercept are special in that a line only has one of each, because that line keeps extending on and on and on forever. So there's only going to be one time it crosses the x-axis, one time it crosses the y-axis. They are each written as an ordered pair. So we're going to decide if each ordered pair is an x-intercept, a y-intercept, or neither, and explain how you know. So if we look at this first one, the ordered pair is 5, 0. Is it an intercept? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. How do we know it's automatically going to be an intercept? What do we see in it? Clara?
The number is like it has a 0.
There's a 0 in it. So we know it's going to be an intercept because there's a 0 in the ordered pair. What we have to do is figure out, is it an x-intercept or a y-intercept? What would this one be, Madeline?
An x.
So this is the x-intercept because y equals 0. So you have to write all of that. You have to say, is it the x-intercept, the y-intercept, or neither? And then you have to say how you know. Y equals 0, so I know it's the x-intercept. If we look at -4, 3, would that be an x-intercept, a y-intercept, or neither? Finley?
Neither.
How do you know it would be neither?
Because there's no zeros.
No 0. So we automatically know it is not an intercept. Not the x or the y, because there's no 0. Okay, you're going to finish that yourself. Then we see on the bottom, it says, write the x-intercept and the y-intercept of each graph. So we're going to put both. So let's look at this first one. What is our x-intercept? what would that ordered pair be? Henry?
Wait, no, 0 minus 2.
Careful. If it's the x-intercept, where does that 0 have to be?
It's minus 2, 0.
That 0 has to be for the y, so our x would be at -2. So if it's the y-intercept, we know that the 0 has to be at the x. What is our y at, Elliot? Is y at -2? That would be right here.
Oh, 2.
Yeah, that y is at 2. So x is 0, y is 2. So be careful. It is super, super easy. It's not the most challenging objective, but it's really easy to make those simple mistakes. To accidentally put this x-intercept, the x is 0. No. But it's super easy for our brain to automatically think that. The x-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. It's not crossing at the 0. The 0 is right here in the middle. So you have to look at where it crosses that x-axis. So you have to remember, if it's the x-intercept, the y will be 0. Most common mistake people make is they flip it. And they say x-intercept, the x is 0. Don't fall into that mistake. Look at where it crosses the x-axis. Okay? Does anybody have any questions on this? Do not rush through this. We have plenty of time. Plenty of time. Actually think about what you're doing. Am I completing this correctly? Am I making sure that for the x-intercept, I see the y is the 0, the y-intercept, I see the x is the 0? Really think about what you're doing. And then you're going to answer your 3 questions on the bottom. Okay, so read those questions and then what do I know about the x-intercept and the y-intercept? Questions on today's assignment. Okay, so we have our math packet to work on. We have, still a handful of us have to do Stations of the Cross. Those are due by Thursday. So if you are done with your Stations of the Cross, that comes first. Let's get that done. Then work on that math packet. I have not made that video yet. We will make it someday this week, maybe tomorrow, since tomorrow is another 1-pager. Okay. But be working calmly, quietly. Okay. You can come and check your answers if you want to make sure that you're doing it correctly, that you're not making those simple mistakes. I don't want to see us working with groups of people on the math packet. I really truly want you working by yourself today. We have math testing coming up in just a couple of weeks. Okay, the end of April, we're doing math testing. It's already the beginning of April this week. So I really want you trying to solve these pages by yourself, because on the math test, you are not gonna get to phone a friend. Hey, how did you solve this? What formula did you use? Okay, really think to yourself, what are our formulas? I need to find the area of a rectangle. I know it's length times width. I need to find the area of a triangle. That's half of the base times the height. Okay, be really trying to remember these formulas. So really see what you can do on your own. And if you have a question, come ask me. Okay, I don't want us to be in the habit of always constantly working it out with a friend. You can't do it on the math test. Let's not do it on this math packet. Let's really work by ourselves this time. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.